is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Southeast.
It's another absolutely beautiful night for baseball here at SunTrust Park. A big crowd filing in for Game 3 of our series with the Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies. Atlanta, those got to find a way to solve the Titans. They're 0-5 against them so far this year. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome back to the ballpark. We've had some entertaining games with the Phillies, but just haven't been able to break through. Jaime Garcia pitched a great game last night. Hopefully Mike Foltynewicz can do the same for Atlanta tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately last night the Braves bats went a little quiet, but a lot of that had to do with Aaron Nola. Well, a similar fate might befall the Philadelphia Phillies tonight because they've got to go up against hard-throwing Mike Foltynewicz, who's coming off a 7-inning, 2-hit shutout performance against the the Cincinnati Reds. He was outstanding. Struck out 10 batters in this ball game, a lot of them early in the ball game. So he's really on a high for him. He's pitched really well his last 5 starts. He's very proud of where he has come his last 5 starts because, as he says, I'm trying to be a pitcher, not a thrower. He's doing a great job of that.
Might be facing the right guy at the right time as well. Jared Eichhoff's got the ball for the Phillies. He's 0-6 on the year, but like Nola last night, throw that out the window. The young man pitching for the Phillies, a 1.58 lifetime ERA against the Atlanta Braves. It's a beautiful night for baseball. If Folty and the Braves can win, it'll be a perfect night. We'll see how it turns out. First pitch and lineups coming up from SunTrust Park in a moment.
Wednesday night Braves baseball on Fox Sports Southeast is presented by your local Chevy dealers. Georgia Drive Chevy. Find new roads.
Nice crowd filing into SunTrust Park for the Braves and the Phillies tonight. See if Atlanta can get into the win column against the Titans in 2017. Mike Foltynewicz is the man assigned that task, and as Joe mentioned a moment ago, Mr. Foltynewicz has been on quite a roll.
And he's pitched well against the National League East, a 1-1 record. And that includes a good start against the Phillies on April 23rd. Again, he was plagued by a bullpen that couldn't hang on to a lead for him. He went 7 innings, gave up 4 hits and only 1 run, and struck out 9 on that occasion. So he's had some good experience against this lineup. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight. Number 1, an interesting note, early counts. First 2 pitches of an at-bat, opponents are hitting .390. This is a guy who doesn't need a first pitch out because teams are trying to jump on him early. And the guy behind the plate, Mike Everett, has an extremely short fuse. We know how Mike can sometimes get upset by pitches that were close, don't go his way. He's got to be very careful of that tonight because this guy will get right after you if you start complaining.
And Tyler Flowers is the catcher. His reputation is as an excellent pitch framer. Let's see if he can steal a couple of strikes for Mike in the game tonight. The Phillies starting lineup presented by Toyota features Cesar Hernandez leading off. Odubel Herrera's had a great series. He's in center. Howie Kendrick. Didn't see him up in Philadelphia. He went 3 for 4 last night. In fact, you look up and down this Phillies lineup, a club that had been struggling offensively has gotten very healthy in the first 2 games here. So Cesar Hernandez is ready to go, riding a 6-game hitting streak. And it's downstairs from Folty, and we're underway. '77 degrees tonight. And a fly ball hit toward Matt Kemp in left, and he'll make the play. 2 pitches, and Hernandez is retired to start the game. That'll bring up Odubel Herrera. Herrera 4 for 9 in the series, a homer and 3 runs batted in. Herrera had another 2-base hit last night. He's up to 19 of them on the year. And he's also driven home 23 men. And Herrera's riding a 5-game hitting streak, 10 hits in his last 21 at-bats.
Between he and Hernandez at the top of the order, 17 hits in 5 games combined against the Braves. Those 2 guys at the top are really a nuisance.
It's fouled off Tyler Flowers' glove. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Phillies start play tonight, 21 wins and 35 losses. Pete Maccannon's club in last place in the division, but they are winners of 4 consecutive games. They're the hottest team in the East, the 2nd hottest team in the National League. The Cubs have won 5 games in a row. And an off-speed pitch just missed. Ball 2.
Good changeup.
Down and away. The Braves wanted an appeal, no swing.
I think Tyler was ready to throw the ball to third base because he thought it was a strike anyway.
And I think you're right. I think he is talking with Mike Winters back there already. And we're Mike Everett, beg your pardon, 2 batters into the game. Fouled away. And now it's a full count. That's Howie Kendrick. He's waiting next. Bases empty. Full count pitch coming for the Phillies center fielder. And it's cracked into the gap in right center. That ball's a missile. And it's off the fence. And it's going to ricochet back toward the infield. Ender picks it up quickly. And it'll be a line drive double. Yes, indeed, for Odubel Herrera, his 20th of the year.
4th of this series. And got a low fastball. Give him credit. 4-seamer. He had it timed.
If memory serves, Mike had a lot of luck in his last couple of starts, not with the low fastballs, but fastballs letter high and higher.
He was throwing the ball right by guys upstairs. You're right.
But that one hitter friendly, and Howie Kendrick is standing in, and he takes a big swing and missed it.
Well, if you recall, the game that Mike pitched against the Reds, where he pitched so well, was the game where they didn't have anything going all night, and then they got a run, got 2 runs in the 9th inning, and the tying run scored on the pitch that bounced off the glove of Tyler Flowers.
Yeah, so you're right. Mike's had a couple of starts this year where he's gone 7 innings, given up just a handful of hits, and looked overpowering. But didn't get wins in those 2 games. Otherwise, we might be looking at Mike being 5-5 instead of 3-5. Oh, 2 the count for Howie Kendrick. And that one's off the screen, out of play. We'll do it again.
He had a good night last night. Kendrick 3 for 4 with a homer. A no-doubter homer to tie the game.
That was the first hit, first base runner for the Phillies last night, as Jaime Garcia got off to a great start, setting down the first 11 hitters he saw.
But this hanging breaking ball upstairs, you could see Kurt's reaction and Garcia's reaction. They knew what had just happened.
Phillies won last night 3-1. They're threatening in the first tonight, as Kendrick fighting hard here with 1 out. And a little roller hit towards short. That'll advance the runner, but it costs the Phillies their second out. And Tommy Joseph, the first baseman's coming up with Odubel Herrera at third base. Joseph with 10 homers. He's knocked in 28 runs. They had an amazing note in their stats on Tommy Joseph. He's played 162 big league games now. He's only the 4th Philly to get to 30 or more homers in his first 162 big league games.
Huh.
Popped up out of play. Chuck Klein did it. A man named Don Hurst did it. Not familiar with his career. And Ryan Howard did that as well.
Not Mike Schmidt.
And so for a man whose career was in serious jeopardy because of concussion problems, he's been a real find at first base for the Phillies. And up and away, even count. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's where Mike was so effective. Let's see if he's got another one of those in his back pocket here. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Tyler called for one of those against Howie Kendrick. Kendrick was barely able to foul it off.
Mike stretches and fires. That one is too high. And we're at 2-2. Swing and a miss. Reached back for a little extra there at 98 miles an hour. And Foltynewicz has his first strikeout of the night. Odubel Herrera left stranded at third base. Mike has a shutdown first inning. We'll see what the Braves can do against Jared Eichhoff next. kid. He's got a little help leading the first chop of the night. And we'll see if the Braves can get off to a good start against Jared Eichhoff. Ender Inciarte leads off the Toyota starting 9 for the Braves. Phillips, Markakis, and Kemp 1 through 4. Adams, Flowers, Ruiz, Swanson, Fultonevich. You heard the news today. Adonis Garcia disabled with a sprained left ring finger. That's why Rio Ruiz is in the starting 9 tonight.
They'll face Jared Eichhoff, 26 years old, 6'4", 245, out of Evansville, Indiana. 15th round pick back in 2011. His first 4 starts, very good, but he didn't get a win. Guess what? He still doesn't have one. His last 7 have been ugly. His last start against San Francisco, he didn't get out of the 3rd inning. 6 hits, 5 runs, 5 walks. Walks have been a big concern of his over the last 3 starts.
Well, if there's competition within the Phillies starting rotation, I'll bet you Eichhoff looked at what Aaron Nola did last night and said, all right, you raised the bar pretty high. See what I can do. And the Braves have historically had a lot of trouble with this guy. He's 2-1 with a 158 lifetime earned run average in 7 games against the Braves. And to your point about walks, only 9 walks issued to Atlanta in his first 40 career innings. That's slicing down the line. Kendrick gives chase, but won't have a play. And it's 1-2 for the Braves leadoff man, Ender Inciarte.
Yeah, you figure with his rash of walks lately, there's something out of whack with his mechanics that he's probably trying to work on, figure out. Good fastball and an excellent curveball.
Did he go? No swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ender Inciarte making a strong case for the All-Star game to represent the Braves and the National League. 3rd in the league in hits with 73, including career hit number 500 earned here last night. And there's a line drive into right field. A leadoff single for the Braves center fielder. Good start here in the home first. That's 74 hits for Ender now, on pace for 200. Marquise Grissom, the last Brave, with a 200-hit year.
Fastball, middle of the plate, not danger zone. Ender's had a strong top hand working in his swing lately. Paid off for him there.
That brings up Brandon Phillips. He's taken to SunTrust Park with the bat. Brandon has 6 consecutive multi-hit games at home. And that one splits the plate, strike 1. In fact, Brandon Phillips has a hit in his last 13 starts at SunTrust Park, and he has hits in 20 of 23 home games here. And another interesting note on Brandon, who is from Stone Mountain, went to Redan High School. All those years he played with the Cincinnati Reds and all those trips he made to Turner Field, he'd never hit a home run in Atlanta as a major league player until he got to this ballpark.
Is that right?
He's hit 2 of his 3 here in the Braves' new home this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Inciarte a good lead at first. And a little pop right in the center of the diamond that Joseph's going to catch. And the Phillies' first baseman puts it away. 1 out.
Well, it's hard for me to believe that the team's already played 24 home games. It doesn't seem like it because they've been in their gray and dark blue jerseys so much here at the beginning of the season.
Nick Markakis and Matt Kemp, we hope, will follow. The Phillies have done an excellent job on Nick and Matt so far this year. They've combined to go 8 for 41. That goes hand in hand with the graphic you showed us earlier. The Braves hitting 200 against the Phillies this year. low. 1 ball, no strikes.
Nat behind the plate has thrown out 4 of 12 base stealers. Good percentage.
Ender was leading and couldn't get back. Joseph will try to run him down. Now Ender loses the foot race between first and second. I think it's Galvis that got him. It's a 1-3-6 pickoff. So the bases are out empty now with 2 outs. Inciarte officially caught stealing for the 5th time. And Eichhoff pumps another strike. Eichhoff, part of that big haul that the Phillies got in the Cole Hamels deal. A trade that really changed the entire Phillies franchise. As that one's cut on and missed, there's the breaking ball. And Eichhoff gets out of the 1st inning after surrendering a leadoff hit. A pickoff helped him out. No score as we head to the 2nd inning.
The score is 0-0. You haven't missed a thing yet, but Mike Foltynewicz is growing up in front of our eyes. He has been fantastic in his last 5 starts, and I'm asking, hey, what is the difference? He's just growing up. He's just learning how to pitch more and more each day. A relaxed motion, and let's face it, guys, we are leading. All of baseball is leading all time in home runs. Since the start of baseball, hitting the most home runs. That is absurd. But Mike Foltynewicz is pitching better and better. And guess what? Good pitching beats good hitting. Guys, back to you.
Sure does, Paul. Anytime.
Michael Franco leads off and takes a ball low. I think Paul makes an interesting point about the comfort level. I don't know that you're ever comfortable playing in a major league game. You would know far better than I ever would. But there has to be a sense of belonging. And the way Mike is pitching now, and I use that word for a reason, has to make him feel like, okay, I know I can do this now.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think he's proven that.
Line into center. Ender's coming on. And he makes the play. Franco's retired on a line drive out.
Good jump by Ender. No, I think I don't think we've seen the best of Mike by any means. We've gotten a taste of it with some of these 7-inning stints where, you know, he's come up short of getting a win through no fault of his own. But he's strong. He's cutting down on his pitches per at bat. I can see him racking up some complete games and shutouts.
Well, Mike has been up and down with the Braves since the 2015 season, so he's no stranger to the major leagues. But I know I'm guilty of it, and maybe a lot of others are too. Tonight he's making his 48th major league start. Ground ball toward first. Adams has it and has to hustle to the bag to get Michael Saunders. Goes out by a quarter step for the second out. Point being, man makes 33 starts. He's basically a year and a half into his major league education.
Yeah. He is. He's learning, as Paul said. He's getting better every time out. We keep talking about that, and certainly a centerpiece for what's to come for Atlanta's rotation.
Last year, Mike led the staff with 9 wins in 22 big league starts. He starts play tonight with a 3-5 record and an ERA now well under 4. Here's Knapp out of Cal Berkeley. Phillies minor league player of the year a couple of years ago, and hitting .262 for the year. Quickly 2 strikes for the Phillies catcher. Mike missed upstairs.
Good spot to go though. 0-2. See if he'll chase.
Struck him out at the knees, and Knapp is caught looking. Second strikeout for Mike in the game. He's got scoreless work through his first 2 innings. Matt Kemp ready to lead off for Atlanta.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. For all, for less.
This beautiful night in Atlanta continues. Kids Week continues as well here at SunTrust Park. Those youngsters are having a great time. So are they. And they're watching Mike Foltynewicz handcuff the Phillies through 2 innings with a couple of strikeouts. Now it's Jared Eichhoff's turn. He has a strikeout of his own. He just got Nick Markakis to swing and miss to end the Atlanta first. I was talking about Eichhoff and how the Phillies, in their quest to win a second World Championship, kept the core of their team together. And some say maybe they kept it together too long. Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, and on we go. A couple of things happened up there that nobody could have foreseen. Both Roy Halladay and Cliff Lee broke down for them. Two mainstays in their rotation as Kemp lines into the shift for the first out on the first pitch. Ryan Howard tore his Achilles and was never the same player offensively or defensively for the Philadelphia club. And so Ruben Amaro at the time, who had been on the hot seat for about a year and a half, decided it was time to break up the Phillies. And the most marketable player that they had was Cole Hamels. And they sent Cole Hamels to the Rangers for Eichhoff, Matt Harrison, Jorge Alfaro, Alec Asher, Jake Thompson, and Nick Williams. And Alfaro, Asher, Thompson, and Williams are very highly prized prospects that are knocking at the door in the upper reaches of the Phillies farm system.
Harrison, you might remember, went from the Braves to Texas in the deal for Mark Teixeira, and he's been battling horrible back injuries for the last 2 or 3 years. I don't know if he's pitching this year for the Phillies in their system.
No balls, 2 strikes for the Braves first baseman, who's one of 2 Adams on the roster now. With the injury to Adonis Garcia, Lane Adams was called up today from Gwinnett.
Yeah, they really didn't need to change any uniforms or anything because Lane Adams used to be number 18.
Late strike 3 call. Matt Adams is the second strikeout victim tonight. 2 outs. Did Lane play in the Gwinnett game earlier today? Was he in the lineup?
He did. That was kind of the reason the Braves were waiting to see if they could call him up, pending a rule to make sure they didn't violate a rule where a guy had already played earlier in the day and called up. Not sure what the specific rule was, but obviously the Braves got it all cleared up.
And that's an advantage of having your AAA club 30 miles away. You could make the trek across town and get to the ballpark. And Lane Adams did play today. He went 2 for 4 with Gwinnett and scored a run. I'm sure that's happened before, where a player has played in a minor league game earlier in the day and gotten called up to a big league club. We'll see if Lane Adams gets into tonight's big league game against the Phillies. It stays high for Tyler Flowers. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, it might be one of those storybook type things. Play in a AAA game, come up, do something big late in the game tonight.
That's popped foul right side. Let's see where this one ends up. Just shy of the second deck. And fan from Sandy Springs made a nice play on the ricochet. And now a high pop into right field. That's going to be playable for Saunders. And Eichhoff is rolling merrily along. He's 0-6, but he's up to his old tricks against Atlanta. 2 scoreless innings.
Baseball is brought to you by your local Ford dealer and the Georgia Lottery.
Off we go to the third inning. Chip and Joe with you tonight from SunTrust Park. Game 3 of our series between the Braves and the Phillies. MLB.tv every night, every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Go to MLB.tv for all the details.
Nice bow.
I'll bet you wore that for Larry Bow
Probably
tonight.
good one.
He was on the top step of the Phillies dugout. Chopper foul past first. There he is. You want a straight answer about something going on in the game or with his club? All you have to do is ask him. He is not shy. Little squibber, and Fultonevich charged it, made a nice play, and that takes care of Galvis. And there's the first out in the Phillies' third inning.
Pete McCannon's not shy either. He will lay it out there straight for you if you go in his office and ask a question too. If you're a player, an executive, doesn't matter. He's not going to sugarcoat much.
Talk about a baseball lifer. Pete McCannon is that guy. He's been around the game his whole life. He's been an interim manager, I think 3 separate times. And as Jeff Francoeur told us the other night, did such a great job with the Phillies after Ryan Sandberg was dismissed that the Phillies re-upped him and have already extended him again.
Yeah.
So as the Phillies continue their rebuild, they are being led by Pete McCannon, a very able baseball guy. Matt Clintock is their general manager. Andy McPhail is the head of their baseball operations. So the Phillies are on the right track. Trying to turn things around after a real rough month of May. Went 6-22 last month.
Pretty good swing by Eichhoff.
But he's down 0-2. Mike missed inside at the shoe tops. 1-2 the count now. Oh no. Check swing, and Eichhoff was retired. That's the third strikeout for Mike Fultonevich.
There's some big pigeons here.
I was just saying. That guy's wearing a Ducks Unlimited shirt.
Yeah,
that's real bad timing.
Yeah.
Strike one to Cesar Hernandez.
Anything goes good with chicken fingers here at the old ballpark.
That is some special sauce. Oh. No balls, 2 strikes. And that's upstairs.
Mercy.
Mike, strike him out so he don't get fired, please. Base is empty, 2 outs. And that's upstairs. Don't want to get this guy aboard with Herrera waiting next. He's been a doubles machine. And that just missed. It's a full count. Boy, Hernandez has really done a nice job. He's blossomed as a leadoff man for the Phillies. Hitting almost 290. Gets a lot of his hits on bunts, singles, infield hits. Uses his legs well. But not that time, as that takes care of the Phillies in the third inning. Get that man a new shirt. or an umbrella. No score. We get to the bottom of inning number 3. Coming up for Atlanta, Ruiz, Swanson, and Mike Foltynewicz are up against Jared Eichhoff. Rio Ruiz will get it started. He's batting .220, a homer, 5 knocked in. Boy, real shame for Adonis Garcia to get hurt last night after he was disabled with the Achilles problem. Came back, swung the bat really well, was driving the ball all over the place with authority, made a couple of good plays at third base, and on a hard swing last night just tweaked that finger and that wrist. And a few days later, right back on the DL. Popped up. Franco at the dugout railing, won't have a play. It's 0-2.
Yeah, and at the time he was taking the swing last night, he represented the winning run, so he was trying to take one deep on one of those high pitches from Neshek, but that big follow through is what did him in. Ring finger on his left hand sprained.
So Rio Ruiz and Johan Camargo will get an extended look, one would think, at third base. Tonight it's Rio's turn to play, and he watched that one dance off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Towards short. Galvis, little stutter step action as he picked up the baseball, and he throws a strike.
Told you about Eichhoff's numbers against the Braves being really good. Pitched that game back on April 22nd, 5 innings, a 2-hit ball, gave up 1 run, but lifetime 7 starts, including that outing this year. 2-1 with a 158 and a 190 average against him. He's kind of the singular of what we're seeing out of the multiple Phillies. He's pitching poorly against everybody, 0-6 with a 5 ERA, but the Braves have seen greatness out of him, and it's the same way with their team. Everybody else is beating up on him.
And it's hard to figure how a guy, and we're judging by what we see from the Braves, like this can be 0-6. But one thing jumped out. You mentioned his walk totals. I wonder if he's trying to pitch too fine, because historically Eichhoff gets absolutely no run support. He is a real tough luck pitcher in that regard. So does he go out there thinking, all right, I can maybe give up 1, maybe 2,
could be,
runs into trouble that way?
Yeah, it could be. He hasn't given up a ton of homers, 7. 6 of them to lefties.
Well, tonight, start of play, there are only 4 men who have lost more than Jared Eichhoff in the National League. Jeff Samardzija, Tyler Chatwood, and Edinson Volquez all have 7 losses. He has 6. But Eichhoff is not in the top 10 in runs allowed in the National League, but he's second in losses. So something's not computing. As that stays high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Last year he went 11-14, 20 quality starts, a .365 earned run average, made 33 starts for the Phillies. This one's lined to Galvis, and he hardly had to move. 2 outs.
I was just looking at the scores of those losses. First start of the year, he lost 7-2. Then he lost 5-3 at Los Angeles against the Dodgers. He lost 5-4 at Wrigley Field. Lost 5-1 at Texas. Lost 8-1 to Colorado. That's a big one. And then his last start got clobbered by the Giants. That was a 10-0 score. He gave up 5 runs in 2 2/3.
So in his last 3 starts, the Phillies have scored 2 runs. And don't know how many of those were while he was even in the game. He's not gotten much help, but he's doing his part tonight. He's got Mike Foltynewicz up there with 2 outs. And again, only James Shields has been given less run support than Jared Eichhoff since the start of last season. So it's sometimes how you pitch. It's sometimes when you pitch, and sometimes against whom you pitch. Got a tough customer tonight in Mike Foltynewicz, but he's ahead of him 1-2. And he just struck him out to retire the side. He's faced the minimum through 3 innings. A leadoff single to Ender Inciarte, the only blemish, and we go to the 4th inning.
It's time now to send it back to Buffalo.
Tonight, the Fox Sports crew was on site at SunTrust Park promoting the Fox Sports Go app to fans as they enter the ballpark. Now that summer's here, don't forget that Fox Sports Go allows you to watch your Braves just about anywhere. The app's available through all major programming providers. Just sign in with your cable or satellite credentials and stream live video of any Braves games on Fox Sports. For more details, go to foxsportsgo.com.
Well, that'll come in handy later in the summer. Bring your own little fan to the ball game. Fan for fan. Onto something.
If he could find a way to pull the air out of that can coulder, he'd have his own micro air conditioning
Sit
unit
right behind that thing.
Right?
Yeah. We'll see a kiosk before you know it, right out there in one of the concourses. Fans for fans.
Here we go to the 4th inning. Odubel Herrera. He has the only Phillies hit, a double in the 1st inning. And Mike misses downstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Herrera has been on an unbelievable roll. 9 hits now against Atlanta, a couple of homers, 5 RBIs. And his 20th 2-base hit already this evening. And moves him past Nolan Arenado of the Rockies, who is tied with him at 19. Three balls and a strike. Leadoff walk. So that is hard to do. Oh boy. 91 plate appearances since Herrera took a base on balls, and he just took one here to start the 4th inning. So you've got Howie Kendrick up. He grounded out to short his first time up. Phillies really happy to have Howie Kendrick, his veteran leadership on this team. We're also happy to have his versatility on this team. He made his living earlier in his career as an infielder with the Angels, but the Phillies outfield was so weak offensively last year, they brought him in to play left field, and after he missed 37 games with an abdominal problem, he's come back hitting .370 since that injury stint.
He could always hit. Went from the Angels to the Dodgers. Talk about catching a break there in terms of not even having to move. You change teams.
He's already picked up his 300th career double, his 600th RBI. He's 3 homers away from 100 as a big league player. And that one's upstairs. That's driven down the right field line. It's going to be well foul, though. And the fans will chase down the souvenir. It's 2-2. The Dodgers won today. They beat the Nationals 2-1. Had a 2-1 Washington victory last night. Max Scherzer struck out 14 men. In fact, the first 11 Dodgers were struck out last night.
What a night.
Washington had a terrific road trip through Oakland, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. They make their way back to the East Coast. And the Braves will see them after we wrap up things this weekend with the Mets. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Little number hit toward Phillips. He will throw low to Adams, who digs it out. And was there a tag applied? Apparently not. Herrera just stood there, and now the Braves will run him down and tag him out.
Great play by Brandon Phillips. Absolutely great veteran play. He knew he didn't have time to go all the way over and tag Herrera, so he went ahead and faked him out, threw it right over the top of him to Adams. That's why the throw kind of bounced. Watch this. Threw it right over the top of him. Short hops Adams, but now they got to go get Herrera, who had no idea what was going on. I got you. So he brushes him, but he doesn't tag him.
And I'm guessing that's what Herrera thought. Was the brush was the tag. It wasn't. So you're right. Great play by Phillips. The Phillies are doubled up, and now Joseph bats. He's already struck out tonight. Love the pace of Foltynewicz. Love the diverse selection of pitches he's throwing tonight. He's in a nice rhythm. Two balls and a strike.
If you see him, he's got the ball in his glove. You see him wiggling his glove, and Paul Bird can speak to this better than I can. You see him shaking it there. That's more a diversion for the hitter than anything else to make sure they don't pick up. Make sure he's not tipping off his pitches. We'll talk to Paul about that next time Folty goes out.
Excellent play by Brandon Phillips. And the top of the Atlanta order, Ender Inciarte, Brandon Phillips, and Nick Markakis are coming up in a scoreless game for the Braves.
Half of the fourth inning. Time for tonight's Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. My beer. Ender Inciarte, 36 at bats without a strikeout. That is an active streak, tied with Ben Revere and Daniel Robertson. And that's a good run right there, putting the ball in play.
Well, let's see if he can get something started in the fourth inning. Little roller. It's a fair ball. And Joseph speared that before it had a chance to bounce into foul ground. And a one pitch out for Eichhoff retires Ender Inciarte, the only Brave with a hit so far tonight. So Brandon Phillips, fresh off that terrific defensive play to steal a second out, is going to stand in with the bases empty. That buzz to the tower. 1 ball, no strikes.
Brandon's good work lately, especially at home, as his average right up on the edge of 300.
Two balls and a strike. Lined into right field by Phillips. So that'll put Eichhoff into the stretch for the first time since the first inning. Let's see if that pays off for Nick Markakis, the Braves' third place hitter. 10 hits for Phillips against the Phillies.
Tried to throw that fastball to the outside corner, but it came back enough to give Brennan a chance to reach it. Hit it where it was pitched.
Got to get Nick going again. 8 hits in his last 38 at bats. And that one's cracked toward the gap in left center field. Kendrick on the run, won't get it. That's going to bounce off the fence. Here comes Phillips around third. Here comes the relay. It's going to be Markakis with a double, puts Atlanta in front.
Well, ask and ye shall receive. That got him going. Great read by Brandon Phillips, who's off with the crack of the bat, and despite a good relay by the Phillies, able to score. Good work by everybody. The umpires all rotated. Play at home plate called by first base umpire Ryan Blakeney. That worked for everybody.
So the Braves strike first in the 4th inning. Here's Matt Kemp. He lined out his first time up. Phillies had a shift on for him with a runner at second. They don't shift as dramatically here. Cesar Hernandez almost right behind the second base bag. Now he moves a little more toward first base as the pitch comes home.
Well, that really surprised me the first inning, or second inning, beg your pardon, because he hits the ball to right field a lot.
No balls and a strike. Question I get an awful lot is fans asking, what is that smudge on the left shoulder of Matt Kemp's Braves uniform top? And the answer to that is it's pine tar.
Yep, his follow through on the swing.
Either that or that same bird.
It could be.
We're not going there again.
No, we're not. We've seen that smudge before.
Somebody's got to get that guy a Brave shirt or something for hazardous duty. He got creamed with some barbecue sauce. Poor guy. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Atlanta leads in the 4th inning. Raymond Phillips scores a run. Markakis brought him home with a double. And strike 3. Good breaking ball by Eichhoff. That's his bread and butter pitch, and he's got 4 strikeouts in the game.
You just can't give up on it, and unfortunately for a right-hander, you're dodging it. It looks like it's coming at you, and then there it is, dropping in. Like we said, really good hook, and he uses it effectively.
Chance we're going to see some good hooks on Sunday. Seth Lugo is going to pitch for the Mets. He's coming back from injury. He has one of the highest spin rates of any pitcher with his breaking ball. So hopefully tonight some good practice for Atlanta, and hopefully a good result too against Eichhoff.
Yeah, exciting news about Saturday and who's pitching for the Braves.
Braves had not announced who was going to face the Mets in the doubleheader, but that word got out today. It's going to be Sean Newcomb. He's going to come up and make his major league debut. We don't know which game yet. And Matt Whistler, who historically has had great luck against the Mets and made his big league debut against New York a couple of years ago. They're going to pitch against Gesellman and Steven Matz in some order or another.
That will be Matt's season debut, will it not?
I believe, yes, I think so. Matt's had some elbow discomfort coming out of spring training. Lugo, I think, has the partially torn ligament.
Correct. He pitched in the World Baseball Classic.
Mets really looking for some pitching depth with Syndergaard still hurt. We'll see Matt Harvey pitch on Friday night. Little roller to the right side. Joseph is there. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that retires the side. Brandon Phillips with a base hit to right field. Nick Markakis with a double to left. And after 4 innings, Mike Foltynewicz and the Braves lead the Phillies 1-0. As we head to inning number 5, the 5th inning is always brought to you by our friends at Audi. Beautiful night.
That was a great shot. There's some howling going on tonight.
As Michael Franco leads off the Phillies inning, he is 0 for 1. And to center, and again Ender is there.
Need to try someone else.
Yep.
Last inning we were talking about Mike as he was gripping the baseball, shaking his glove. Paul, if you're there, can you elaborate a little bit for us?
I'm here, Joe. Usually when you throw a split finger or a changeup where you throw it off the end 3 fingers and you have to spread your hands to get the grip, you will, without knowing it, widen the glove. And when you see that, the hitter's always looking for that. As you know, any kind of little tip they can pick up to pick up the pitches. And here's the part you may not know, and this includes me. You can try as hard as you can to keep that glove open, and in the midst of battle with guys on, you start sweating, you get excited, and you just simply forget. So to alleviate that, if you do the same thing every time and wiggle and just get used to it, you're okay.
Yeah, can't tip off. You can't, as a hitter, you can't look at that and say, okay, I know every time he does that, it's a changeup.
Something else, look at Mike's glove, the way he wears his glove. He doesn't have the finger sticking out above the leather. I've seen pitchers too, when they're throwing a fastball or something, all of a sudden that finger pops up over the glove. Another telltale sign for a hitter that's easily picked up. You'll also see pitchers with gloves that almost have like a hood, a little hooded piece of leather where they can take their finger out of the glove but have it covered up so there's no giveaway to the hitter.
That's another great point, Chip. I was one of those guys as well that would stick my index finger straight up on a curveball. So I had to get the leather piece that would not let me do that. And then some guys are just great at picking up signs.
Lined, and Dansby caught that. Couple of ropes hit by the Phillies in the 5th inning, but a 6-pitch frame for Foltynewicz who enjoys a 1-0 lead. More from SunTrust in a minute. Some of that stuff sent up to the booth. Our Delaware North folks been so generous with us. Runs haven't been generous tonight, however. Just one of them. Luckily, the Braves have it. An RBI by Nick Markakis. And in the 5th inning, Tyler Flowers leads off. He's our Zaxby's indescribably good player.
Last 18 games, he's reached every one of them. 3 homers, 7 RBIs. Able to extend that streak 2 nights ago in his last at bat when he drew a walk. So that helped the on base percentage, which is outstanding at .473. That shot from inside below the chop. What a great place to watch a game.
Modern version on the old knothole gang, as it were. Beautiful views. And as I like to say, you get a great chance to boo the other team's right fielder.
Oh, yeah.
What a place. No balls and a strike. Tyler looks outside. So here's Eichhoff again. He's not pitching badly at all. He's struck out 4. He hasn't walked anybody. He's given up 1 run and he's losing the game. See if Atlanta can add some insurance. Sharply hit and over the glove of Franco at third. Flowers is thinking about 2, and he's going to make it as the ball gets away from Kendrick. And now Tyler's all the way around to third base. That might be a double error. We'll have to wait and see.
Either that or the official score is going to realize that was just too hot to handle by 2 major league players. So not only did Franco whiff on it, and it was smoked, got under his glove, but it was hit so hard it rolled all the way to the wall after it got by him and got by Kendrick. Good hustle by Tyler. Oh, he slipped. I didn't realize that.
So it's going to be a 3-base error all the way.
Wait a minute.
That's what he just said.
You can't give a guy a 3-base error because the left fielder fell down. Crying out loud. Give it a double error or give it something, but good grief.
Rio Ruiz was trying to bring him home. Ruiz grounded out to third. I mean, I could see giving him a hit on that play because the point you made, it was a missile.
Yeah.
And then maybe a base on this misplay. Be a tough error because he slipped.
Yeah, but hang with him. Yeah.
Right. Jay to not reward Tyler for a hard hit ball. That one might get changed or appealed. We'll wait and see.
Whatever they rule, it'll be an opportunity here for the Braves to get a real quick run.
Three 3-0 for Ruiz. Have the green light.
Rio's swing is really long. Perfect time there to jump on a fastball and was late on it. Even on a 3-0 swing, knew what was coming. Got to shorten that up a little.
So now it's a battle, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
I mean, in some ways, they could do him a favor by throwing that good curveball. Speed up his bat.
Downstairs, 1st and 3rd, nobody out. So that's the first walk for Eichhoff. And here's Dansby Swanson. But first, Bob McClure, the pitching coach. Other finals in the major leagues today. The Rockies continue to roll. Colorado beat Cleveland 8-1. The Colorado Rockies have a terrific team. Anthony Senzatella won yesterday. He's 8-2 now. A great candidate to win the Rookie of the Year.
You bet.
As is Kyle Freeland, his pitching mate from Denver. He started that one against Trevor Bauer today. And oh, by the way, the Rockies, who are doing such great work in the National League West with a 2-game lead, they're about to get John Gray back. He started pitching rehab games, or a simulated game, I should say. He's about to go out and could be back in a couple of weeks.
How about their signing of Mark Reynolds for the absence of Ian Desmond at the beginning of the year?
He's got 16 home runs and hit just 14 last year. So the Rockies, I have to believe, are for real. Power pitching and a powerful lineup. Anchored by Nolan Arenado, who's one of the game's great stars at third base.
Dansby wants to get that run in. He's got the pitcher on deck. Shoot that thing to right field again. Runner being held over their big hole.
High fly ball, belted deep toward left. Kendrick back. Goodbye.
Or launch one. Either way. Chased a pitch down and away and tried to throw a slider, but it was just a cement mixer. And stayed on the inner third, and Dansby did a good job of staying back. Boy, that was a nice swing.
So Mike Foltynewicz has to feel like the king of the hill now. He's got a 4-run lead. Dansby Swanson, the Braves' 8th place hitter, just hit his 6th home run. And the Braves get 3 runs on 1 hit so far in the inning. That's popped up behind first. Joseph in foul ground. He's going to give way to Cesar Hernandez, who puts the squeeze on it, 1 away.
Dansby had fallen on some hard times again. He'd been in a real bad stretch after being in about a 2-week stretch where he hit about 320. Kind of dried up again. 327 in that good stretch. So tonight, that's a big blow for him. Get him going again.
Now Ender drives one toward the outfield. Herrera's there in center, makes the play. And there's the second out. So 60 home runs at SunTrust Park now. That is the 22nd hit by the Braves.
It's only the second home run Eichhoff's given up to a right-handed hitter.
He gave up 30 home runs last year. That was the 8th this season for the Phillies righty. He was in jeopardy of falling to 0-7 if this score holds. It's 4-0 Atlanta. Mike Foltynewicz has a one-hitter brewing. And Brandon Phillips the batter. He scored the first Atlanta run. Fourth inning hit for Phillips. Another one here would give him 7 consecutive multi-hit games at SunTrust Park. Strike. It's 1-2. Phillips hits it to first. Inside out swing. Joseph's got it, and that's the inning. Leaky defense, a walk, and then a long home run by Dansby Swanson gives the Braves 3 runs, just 1 fifth inning hit. 4-0 Atlanta. We go to the 6th.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. Georgia Drive Chevy. Find new roads.
Beautiful view of northern Atlanta from our Xfinity cam.
And that's a beautiful pan, isn't it?
Absolutely gorgeous. Freddie Galvis leads off for the Phillies. It's 8-9-1 on the lineup card for Philadelphia. Galvis tapped back to the mound. And he's going to single to right to lead off the inning. So that's only the second Phillies hit. And Galvis aboard. His 7th hit against the Braves this year.
He got a gift. He got a changeup that was about letter high. Mike had a great inning last inning, even though he gave up a couple of line drive outs and he threw 6 pitches, but couldn't get away with that one.
So Ty Kelly's going to grab a bat and hit for Eichhoff. Eichhoff, who pitched a career low 2 2/3 innings last time out, went 5 innings tonight. And the crippling blow for him, the 3-run homer allowed to Dansby Swanson. It's a 4-0 game. Kelly smokes one toward right. Markakis on the run. He's going to get there with a shoulder high catch. Kelly hit it hard, but he's out number 1. And back to the top.
I almost feel sorry for Eichhoff in this regard. He was behind 1-0. Third baseman didn't make a play for him. He might have been able to pitch around that what should have been 2-error play and give up one more run and be down 2-0. But instead it leads to a homer and he has to be pinch hit for. That's too bad.
If it weren't for bad luck, he'd have none at all, it seems. And again, no run support. As Joe said, he's gotten 2 total runs now in his last 4 outings for the Phillies. So here's Hernandez. And from Phillies perspective, look, it's a lively park. You've got leadoff man on. You go with a pinch hitter, and then you turn things over to the top of their order, which has been very frisky in the series. You can get a couple of guys on, and if someone splits a gap or hits one over the wall, you've got a 1-run game perhaps.
Good pitch.
Fultonevich doesn't want to have happen.
Good breaking ball. Second time through the order, typically a tough time for Mike Fultonevich. Not so tonight. Give up a walk and a single.
Line drive into center. Ender can't get this one. He'll play it on a second hop. And Cesar Hernandez up to his old tricks. He's got a base hit. And here come the Phillies with Herrera coming up. 2 on and 1 out.
You can see by those numbers that at times Mike really struggles through the middle innings. And most, correct me if I'm wrong, Chip, but a lot of those times he's really up with his pitch count by that time. And he's beginning to show some signs of fatigue, but not so tonight.
And I would think this is not as comfortable a night as you can pitch this time of year in Atlanta. So we'll see what he has in store for Odubel Herrera, who's doubled and walked. First walk for Herrera in 91 plate appearances back in the 4th inning. In the 5th, you might recall, he got him in order 1, 2, 3, but there were a couple of real hard hit balls. This one, though, is going to hang up in center, and Ender gallops in and makes an easy play. Thank you very much. 2 outs. And Howie Kendrick's coming up. Don't sleep on this guy. As Joe mentioned, Kendrick hit a long homer here yesterday. And he hit it with 2 strikes.
Good hustle by Herrera after the pop up. He walked all the way back, still walking back to the dugout. I'm confident he hurt himself, though, and he's trying to save himself. Man, it looks bad, especially when you're on a last place club.
Blowing away, ball 1. Doesn't seem to have any trouble running when he's finding gaps. First bit of trouble for Fultonevich in the game. And that one missed upstairs, ball 2. Mike got a strike, but the way he snatched that ball back from Tyler Flowers, it leads me to believe that's not where he wanted that pitch.
Yeah, I think it had too much of the plate, and happy that Kendrick took it.
That is just foul, and I mean barely foul. Look at Mike. Yeah. He's got his cap off in gratitude that was foul at first.
Right at the feet of Ryan Blakeney, the first base umpire, had a good look at it.
This at bat's gone far enough. 2 balls, 2 strikes. But Kendrick will see another one, and the Phillies runners will get a head start with a full count. There they go. It's grounded up the middle. Dansby's got it. He'll make the peg to first. And Mike Foltynewicz has a shutdown inning. The Phillies get 2 hits. They strand 2 runners. Middle of the 6th inning.
Braves baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Delta Airlines.
Braves lead at 4-0. A 3-hitter for Mike Foltynewicz so far. The Phillies with a couple of changes. Ty Kelly remains in the game. He's in left field. Howie Kendrick's night is over. And this is left-hander Adam Morgan making his 4th appearance.
Braves have seen him several times, mostly as a starter. Low to mid-90s fastball with a slider, change up, and a curve. Just called up, as you see, only 3 outings.
Three outings, 9 innings, 6 homers. Ooh. For Mr. Morgan. On April 11th, he allowed 4 homers in a game against the Mets. And a ground ball by Markakis at second. Nice play, Hernandez, and a stretch at first by Joseph. A pretty play.
Very underrated player, Cesar Hernandez. Finally getting some recognition around the National League, if not all of baseball, for his all-around play. Yeah, Morgan's a local kid out of Soquel High School and University of Alabama.
He started 21 games for the Phillies last year, went 2-11. And an ERA over 6. Third-round pick 6 years ago. Well, what an exciting time this is for all the Major League Baseball franchises, all the high school kids, the college kids too. The draft is right around the corner. You know, Brian Bridges and the Braves amateur scouting staff hard at work thinking about who they will select with the 5th overall pick in the draft coming up. The way John Hart described it, I thought was most apt. This is like Christmas coming up for Major League Baseball front offices. A new wave of talent joins your organization. One ball, one strike. And that was a little tardy. Just a bit outside.
Close though.
2-2. To short. Big hop for Freddie Galvis. 2 outs. Matt Adams is 0 for 2. He is struck out and he's grounded out to first. Such beautiful panoramic vistas from our broadcast vantage point here at SunTrust Park. See the lights of Midtown Atlanta off in the distance. All the office buildings aglow with the sunset. And the light show that takes place beyond the outfield fence back in the kids zone area. All those lights reflecting off the glass of the under construction Omni Hotel. Light show of its own as Adams pops one into the seats. 0-2. That's our Georgia lottery feature tonight. His numbers since coming over from the Cardinals.
Not bad. 12 RBIs in 15 games, wouldn't you say? He's had the big grand slam in Cincinnati a few days ago.
That's hit to second, and Morgan a nice inning of relief. That was much needed, and we're off to the 7th.
Shot in the 5th inning made it 4-0 Braves as we head into the 7th inning. Welcome into our Braves live set here in the Battery Atlanta. I'm Kelsey Winger with this Xfinity game break. So the Astros, one of the hottest teams in baseball, but that 11-game win streak did come to an end last night. They're playing the Royals again tonight, top of the 2nd, scoreless, but not for long. Former Brave Brian McCann with a blast to center field on a 1-0 pitch, but the Royals up 3-1 right now in the 3rd inning. Chip and Joe, they're trying to make that 2 straight losses for those hot Houston Astros.
And that was a great matchup. That was Dallas Keuchel and Vargas. I believe they're 1-2 in ERA in the American League.
Brian McCann's hot too.
Yes, he is.
That's at least 2 home runs in that series.
We will see Brian and the Astros here on the 4th of July holiday at SunTrust Park. Back to work goes Mike Foltynewicz. He's been terrific again. 6 innings of shutout ball. He's allowed just 3 hits. A little low for the Phillies first baseman. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's had good fastball command tonight, something he talked about in Cincinnati that really helped his cause for 7 innings.
Adams gives chase, but won't have a play. And a fan from Buckhead made the catch in the first row seats right behind the Braves dugout.
That's the first fur-lined glove I've ever seen. And gave it to a Swanson fan. Great. Well done.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Little tapper. That's going to roll foul. And Joseph will head back to the plate. Cardinals are winning tonight in Cincinnati 4-1. Everybody in baseball still buzzing about Scooter Gennett's record-setting day. 4 homers, 10 RBIs last night against the Cardinals and Adam Wainwright. 17 total bases for Gennett. That's a new Reds record. He's the first Red to ever hit 4 homers in a game. First ever man to hit 4 homers in a game against the Cardinals. And he's only the 17th man in baseball history to have a 4-homer game.
Quite a night. And go 5 for 5. Had a single to match.
There's a shot. And Dansby will knock down, but he won't have a play as Joseph will leg out an infield hit. And to put that in perspective, what's the toughest thing for a pitcher to do in a major league game? 27 up and 27 down, right? Perfect game. Gennett hit 4 homers. 17 guys have done that. There have been 21 perfect games in the history of Major League Baseball.
Huh. Wow.
And guys who've played the game, among many who never had a 4-homer game: Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, Ted Williams, Barry Bonds, Reggie Jackson, Mark McGwire. But Scooter Gennett does. And that's what you love about baseball.
Were you the one that suggested he change his nickname? Oh, look.
There you go.
Hey, there you go.
Although white might not have been the best color choice for that guy. He's going to get splattered again with something else before it's all said and done.
Nice. Nice move.
That's great.
Welcome home, sir.
Nice work, Braves. 1 ball, 1 strike for Michael Franco. That's over the screen and into the seats.
Franco's hit the ball hard twice. Right on the nose, but right at the wrong guy. Right toward Ender Inciarte, who's made the catch both times.
Leadoff man on in the 7th. There is action in the Braves bullpen. As Folty spun out of that delivery.
He's been economic when it comes to his pitch count. See what he throws Franco here, knowing he's hit a couple of fastballs hard.
Mike starting his third trip, or continuing, I should say, his third trip through the Phillies lineup card. Missed upstairs. 3-2.
It looks like he's trying to put a little more effort into that fastball than he was. Jose Ramirez loosening up.
Downstairs, ball 4. So an infield hit and a walk now, and the Phillies have a 7th inning threat. Saunders, the hitter, 0 for 2. Mentioned in the game last night that the Braves entering play had 3 straight games where the bullpen had to pitch 4 or more innings. Jaime Garcia did an excellent job of taking the ball deep into the game. 7 2/3 of 8-hit 3-run work. Ott and Hirsch were the only 2 Atlanta relievers to work last night. Oltanevich will face his 3rd hitter in the 7th inning tonight, so one would think that Brian Snitker would have just about every available option ready if needed late.
I have a question for Paul, if he's on the line there. Paul, I was a little surprised at the pitch call there on the 3-2 count.
Yeah, you nailed it, Joe. You know, he struck out 10, tied a career high in his last outing. 7 of those strikeouts came on four-seam fastballs up in the zone. So when he went to it 2-2 and didn't get it, I agree. I would have liked to have seen him double up on it. And he doesn't throw his breaking ball for strikes with the highest percentage of all of his pitches. You're up 4-0. I agree 100%.
Downstairs to Saunders. 1 ball, no strikes.
And Joe, one thing I would add to that is he throws that great fastball right there, which I like, is if you're going to throw a 3-2 breaking ball, don't try to be perfect with it. Don't make it nasty. Throw it for the middle of the plate. Let the action and the surprise of a 3-2 breaking ball take over.
It's kind of a get-over breaking ball.
Exactly.
Fouled away. He's ahead of Saunders now. A ball and 2 strikes.
I mean, Joe, as a hitter, I'm assuming when a guy throws 95, got good control of that, you're not looking for that 3-2 breaking ball.
No, not 3-2. And that element of surprise, I'm sure, is what they were hoping for. But as you said, you got to throw it for a strike.
Yeah, that was too nasty. That was a good 0-2 breaking ball, but not a 3-2. And again, we talked about it earlier. He's learning. So, you know, make mistakes, find these things out, make adjustments. He's throwing a heck of a game. Learn from it.
Now the 2-2 pitch. It's sprayed down the left field line. That's going to slice into the stands. Mike's been outstanding tonight. Couple of walks. He scattered 3 singles and a double. He's got a lumbering first baseman at first. He's got Joseph's second. Franco's at first. And a comebacker. Fulte's got it. And a double play.
How did he catch that?
I think it caught him. And had he reacted very quickly, the Braves might have had a chance to turn a triple play, because the Phillies base runners were breaking to the next base. A missile doubles up Joseph.
Oh, I mean, it was one thing just to get his face out of the way, let alone catch it. Wow.
Saunders can't believe it.
Wasn't at his face, it was low, lower than that, but still. Very fortunate.
So 2 outs. Franco's still the runner at first. Andrew Knapp is the batter. He's 0 for 2. Braves know all about another catcher in the National League East that's undergone Tommy John surgery like Knapp has. That's Matt Wieters. Ground ball to second. He's going to be out of it. Mike Foltynewicz has gone 7 strong innings. A 4-hit shutout. Time to stretch at SunTrust Park. 4-0 Atlanta in front. Day of Kids Week at SunTrust Park. The first 5,000 kids through the gates get a Braves plastic bat and ball combo. Go to Braves.com/kidsweek for all the details. Braves have done an excellent job all week long. Love to see those youngsters' smiling faces, and tonight they're seeing a terrific ball game. It's your Georgia Drive Chevy game summary as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning.
Always starts with good starting pitching, and once again another good outing from Mike Foltynewicz. Nick Markakis drove in the first run with a big double to left center, and Dansby Swanson capped off a rough inning for the Phillies, an error and a walk, and then he had a 3-run homer. That was what put the Braves up 4-0 in the 5th.
So I mentioned the terrific work by Jaime Garcia last night. Foltynewicz with 7 strong innings tonight. The last time 2 Braves starters went 7 innings or more in back-to-back games was April 20th and April 21st. R.A. Dickey and Bartolo Colon turned the trick. Braves lost both of those games from their 40-year-old starters. They're winning tonight 4-0. Trio up for Atlanta in the inning is the trio that scored the last 3 runs: Flowers, Ruiz, and Dansby Swanson. And another hit for Tyler Flowers. He's a machine. Officially he's 1 for 3, but might be a scoring change on his hot shot in the 5th inning. We'll have to wait until after the game to find out.
As he said, he was always comfortable with off-speed stuff. He could hit it. He had trouble catching up with good fastballs, and that's why he made some adjustments in his swing, that leg kick, to try to get a little more momentum. And as long as he gets that foot down, he can turn on it. He got an off-speed pitch there and ripped it.
A ball outside for the Braves' third baseman tonight, Rio Ruiz. way upstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Pretty good velocity on that one from Morgan, 94.
And look who's waiting in the Braves dugout. Lane Adams, who played at Gwinnett today, called up this afternoon. Might come up in Mike Foltynewicz's spot.
If they had not been able to clear Lane Adams to play tonight, in other words, if the rules stipulated he had to wait a day, the Braves would have had to play a man short tonight.
And all of a sudden Morgan can't find the strike zone. A single and a walk. Dansby Swanson's coming up. Big night for the Braves shortstop. Dansby's 4th hit of the season against the Phillies. A 3-run home run into the 3rd or 4th row of the seats in left.
Yeah, right over the 385 mark. It's kind of a spinning slider in the inner third of the plate. Sixth of the year.
Our SunTrust Confidence Play of the Game gave Mike Foltynewicz a lot of confidence. Mike had to pitch with a 1-0 lead for quite a bit tonight. And at the moment, Mike's sitting pretty with Chuck Hernandez in line for his 4th victory of the season. For Foltynewicz, if this is indeed the end of the line for him tonight. Last 2 starts, 14 innings, no runs, and a grand total of 6 hits, I think.
Yeah, outstanding work, and I'm going to assume that he's done. Typically, if he's still in the game, he's not having an extended conversation with his pitching coach.
Got the call. 2-1 the count. R.A. Dickey and Ben Lively here tomorrow night. We took that one for a strike. It's 2-2. After our game tomorrow, we'll await the Mets on Friday. New York is in Texas tonight. Mets are beating the Rangers 2-1.
I think that was DeGrom.
Two balls, 2 strikes, and a little low. Now I think DeGrom went last night.
Okay.
And could not hold 3 leads for the Mets, and went 4 innings for the 2nd straight start. Tonight it's Zach Wheeler against Yu Darvish.
Okay.
Texas won last night 10-8. Rangers are now batting in the 4th inning. Boy, do they have a big uphill climb. They're a million miles behind Houston in the West. The pitch is fouled away.
I was just thinking about the Mets coming to town, and for the first time in a long time, the Braves won't see DeGrom or Syndergaard or Bartolo Colon.
It'll be Harvey, Gesellman, Matz, and Lugo. Remember, Saturday, a day-night doubleheader. An afternoon game Sunday, and then the Braves head up to Washington for 3 quick games. 3-2 is yanked foul.
Staying back. That was one of the things that I that directed me to say what I did about him trying to just shoot the ball to right field before the home run. Stay back. Don't commit quite so soon with your hands. He did it on the homer, and he did it on that last pitch.
To the right side and out of play. We'll do it again. 3-2. As Joe mentioned, special night for Morgan. He's an Atlanta kid. And he just kicked one toward first. Joseph tried to field with a bare hand. Dansby went to a spinning slide and is safe at first base. He was a whirling dervish over there.
That's something John Smoltz would be proud of right there. Stop, drop, and roll. Joseph wasn't sure which way he was going to go. Look at this ricochet off the foot. Skate save. But it goes right to the first baseman. Backhanded swipe by Joseph. Ball took a funny spin. Base hit.
Take him any way you can get him. And those young ladies enjoy Dansby Swanson's acrobatics at the first base bag. Atlanta has the bases loaded. There is nobody out. And it will be Lane Adams coming on to pinch hit for Mike Foltynewicz. 7 innings of shutout baseball for Mike again tonight. 4 hits, 2 walks. And what impressed me about Mike's performance tonight, 4 strikeouts, and he wasn't trying to strike everybody out. They just came naturally to him.
Coming along nicely, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no doubt. So here's Adams. Pops up the first pitch. That's an infield fly. So he's out. And we go back to the top and enter Inciarte. Always good to see an infield fly actually called on the infield in Atlanta. And now Ender. Ender single to start the game, was picked off. And then Eichhoff got into a nice roll. He faced the minimum, threw 1 out in the 4th inning. While Phillips single and a Markakis double made it 1-0. And then an error walk and the Swanson homer made it 4-zip. That's where we stand now, with a chance for Ender to do some serious damage. Fouled away, strike 1. Inciarte an RBI single. That scores Tyler Flowers. It's a 5-0 Braves game.
Watch Ender. It's almost like he just guided his bat to the ball here, and he didn't hit it real hard. He just hit it in the right place. But he's had a magic wand lately. Breaking ball. Just took the barrel right to the baseball. Top hand comes off the bat. Contact, putting it in play, and had a base hit to show for it.
So that's going to be the end of the line for Adam Morgan. He was terrific in the 6th, ran into all kinds of trouble in the 7th. The Braves have added a run. They still have the bases loaded, and they've got a 5-0 lead in Game 3 of this series. A 5-0 Braves lead in Game 3. Mike Foltynewicz with 7 shutout innings. Braves have played at a run here and still have them loaded with only 1 out. Can't think of what to get your dad for Father's Day? Well, get him a 4-game plan and pick all the games he'll want to go to. Bring him to all 4 post-game concerts. Grab all 4 remaining bobbleheads, or even pick his favorite matchups over the final 4 months of the year. Go to Braves.com/4game and get your Dad's Day gift today.
From one lefty to another, Joely Rodriguez makes his 26th appearance. Good fastball in the low to mid 90s and a slider, but not tricking anybody lately. A lot of walks, a lot of hits. 340 average. Goodness.
Brandon Phillips is coming up. Nice way to come back for the Braves tonight after dropping a 3-1 game last night. And that's outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Pitching has been an issue for the Phillies. We've talked about that a lot. The young starters have struggled mightily at times. Their bullpen's been a little better. They're 9-12 collectively, a 4.31 ERA, 9 saves in 19 tries. Last night things were very dicey for the Phillies. The Braves had 2 on in the 9th inning, and they had to go get Hector Neris, whose split finger pitch is not splitting. And so Pat Neshek may be the man asked to close games for the Phillies for a while until Neris gets things straightened out.
Pretty good numbers for Brandon Phillips. You saw there, bases loaded, including 5 grand slams.
Line to short, flip to third, and safe. Ruiz got back. That was close. Phillips hit it on the button, but he's retired for the 2nd out.
Nice job by all the base runners to get back.
That's why.
Oh, yeah. Franco didn't have his foot on the bag.
So there's a break. Let's see if Markakis can cash it in. Nick drove in the game's first run with a 4th inning double. Next 3 for 11 in the series, as you see. He's now 50 hits away from 2,000. What a remarkable number that is. 2,000 hits. Already gone over the 400 double mark. In fact, since joining the Braves in 2015, Nick has the 6th highest hit total in the National League, with 403 now. And you might remember Nick's first year, it was an open question as to whether he'd be ready to play on opening day, coming back from the neck surgery in the previous offseason. As this one's hit down the line, Franco can't corral it. 2 runs are going to score. Markakis is chugging towards second. The throw offline. He's in safely, and the Braves have blown the game open. He does it again. A 2-run double for Markakis.
2 doubles on the night, 3 RBIs off the lefty. Hands inside the baseball, hit it on the barrel past Franco. and Nick's up to 29 RBIs.
And how about the 6, 7, 8 hitters for the Braves? They've scored 6 of the Braves' 7 runs tonight. So the bottom of the order feeding the top here in the 7th inning. Now let's see if Kemp can get going. Matt's 0 for 3.
I was just looking at last year's matchup between the Phillies and the Braves, and it's not a whole lot unlike what started off this year. The Phillies won 7 of the first 10 against the Braves last year, and the Braves won 8 of the next 9, including the last 7 in a row to end the season. Braves won the overall season series 11-8.
Looks like the Braves are in real good shape tonight. Jared Eichhoff in line for his 7th loss. That man, Mike Foltynewicz, in line for his 4th win. As the Braves have made the most of their 8 hits, they've scored 7 runs. And an amazing note on Eichhoff. If this score holds, he'll be the first Philly to go winless in his first 12 starts since Cliff Lee went 13 starts in a row without a victory for the 2012 Phillies. .3-0 count. And Kemp takes ball 4. A 4-pitch walk loads him up again. Second walk of the inning for the Braves. The first issued by Rodriguez.
Pete Buchanan has seen this story before this year quite a bit for the Phillies. He just didn't want to burn another guy in the bullpen. Down 7-1. 7-0, excuse me.
Well, man, Adams hit a grand slam in Cincinnati. How about one here? Why not? And he's a strike.
Nasty pitch right there from Rodriguez.
Just missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, as much as he's struggled this year, and with that arm angle, I wonder why he doesn't work the lefties from the first base side of the rubber. If he's primarily a left-handed specialist, let's say, taking that's an assumption. Make it that much harder on lefties to hang in there when he's throwing it from about the direction of the second baseman.
Two balls, 2 strikes. That didn't miss by much. So the merry-go-round starts for the Braves. Everybody will be moving with a full count pitch. Ciarte, Markakis, and Kemp lead. There they go, and it's a bases-loaded walk. So all 4 runs in this inning belong to Morgan. The Phillies don't want to, but they may not have a choice but to get someone else up and throwing here. Back-to-back walks. Adams picks up his 20th RBI, and Tyler Flowers is coming up again. Bob McClure, who ought to have a Fitbit endorsement, makes another
good point.
Long stride to the pitcher's mound.
Louis Garcia will begin to loosen up. Not in a big hurry.
Looks real excited to be up and throwing it up.
He's just kind of comfortable up there in his perch.
in an 8-0 game. Well, I guess I better start throwing here. Tyler Flowers is up for the second time in the inning. 4 runs for the Braves in the 7th. And Powder River right down the middle.
John McLaren's a bullpen coach. He pointed at Louis Garcia, and Garcia's, who, me?
One ball, one strike.
Of course, Jeff Francoeur's in the ballpark.
That's true.
He's a relief specialist for the Phillies. Threw about 80 pitches in 2 innings.
We saw Jeff shortly after that relief stint, and I'll never forget asking him, did you have a great time? He said, oh, I loved it. And I said, and? He said, I am so sore. You know all about coming in as a position player to relieve. One of the greatest in baseball history.
Career 3 ERA.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, you just pitched in the wrong era. You could be a, I don't know, $20 million guy with a 3 ERA in relief now.
Talk about a super utility guy.
You could even broadcast the games while you're pitching.
Hey, remote mic. Dave Poole could hook me up with one of those lavalier mics.
Yep. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And strike 3 called. Will finally end the inning. 10 come to the plate. 4 score for the Braves. And Mike Foltynewicz on his way to his 4th win of the year. Joe and I will step aside for a moment. Time to send it out to Kelsey for tonight's big story.
Thank you, guys. You know, the big story tonight was the Nationals versus the Dodgers, but that's because it was Kershaw versus Strasburg. Kershaw, Kay and Harper right there, and Strasburg, he's just as good too. He'll get Corey Seager swinging, and then it's Kershaw once again. Of course, he's going to get Trey Turner there. Now we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. 2 outs, a man on second. That was Monty Grandal, RBI double to put the Dodgers up 2-1. Then we'll head into the top of the 8th. There's going to be 1 out and a man on third. Bryce Harper grounds back to the pitcher, and Trey Turner gets caught in a rundown. He'll be out at the plate. The final over there was 2-1. So, Jeff, I pose you the question. If you had to choose between Kershaw and Strasburg as an ace for your rotation, you're building your dream team, who are you taking?
Kershaw all the way.
Okay.
Strasburg's good. He hasn't done as long as Kershaw. Kershaw's got the devastating curveball. I'll take him any day of the week.
Did you see those numbers from their last 7
Bugs
starts?
Bunny numbers. I mean,
those 2 guys are unbelievable. And I know Grant McCauley from 92.9 The Game was talking about the things that Matt Kemp was saying about his former teammate, saying he's phenomenal. He's not a real human. These guys are just once in a generation type players that we're watching play.
Yeah, you know you're not going to need the bullpen that night. And I'm sure as a manager for Dave Roberts, that's the greatest feeling. And by the way, Joe, I only threw 48 pitches, not 80 in 2 innings, okay? So my arm's still fresh.
Oh, yeah, fresh might be the word today. Maybe not that night.
That's true.
And it was an exaggeration because you were kind of left out there to die on the vine,
Yes.
as I recall.
Yeah, I was left to die.
Did it feel like 80 the next day, though? Be honest.
It felt like 140.
Yeah.
So, Chip and Joe, you guys have been corrected, but I pose you the same question. Who would you take, Kershaw or Strasburg?
I'll go Kershaw. He's got the track record. Strasburg hasn't done it in the playoffs. He's been hurt. He got shut down a couple of years ago. Although I will say, as you said so many times, this is a different Steven Strasburg we're seeing now for the Nationals.
He's a much improved Strasburg, but I'll make it 3 for 3. I'll take Kershaw too. He's as good as it gets.
And it's not fun to face.
I'll bet. I'll bet. Well, it's been a fun night for the Braves to this point, Kelsey and Jeff. It's a big Atlanta lead. 2 more innings to go. Lane Adams is going to check in for Matt Kemp. Jose Ramirez is on to pitch inning number 8. And he's got the bottom part of the Phillies order coming up. 2 big innings for the Braves. 3 in the 5th, 4 in the 7th. And Mike Foltynewicz is on his way. Here's Freddie Galvis. Phillies have just 4 total hits. And Ramirez drops in a strike. And it's bounced out of play, foul. The plan for the Braves when they get to the late innings, when they have the lead, has been pretty consistent all year. Ramirez, Vizcaino, and Johnson. Get those 3 guys in the game, and by and large, the Braves would be very happy to take their chances. Ground ball to first. Easy play for Adams. He's got it. And there's the first out. Won't see Jim Johnson tonight. The lead's too big. So maybe Ramirez can pick up 2 quick innings and put this one in the win column. But very few complaints, Joe, about the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning relief corps for the Braves this year.
Yeah, in the broad spectrum of the first 2.5 months of this season, they've been very good. Ramirez, Vizcaino, and Johnson.
So Ty Kelly, remember, he came on in the flip-flop batting order and popped out in the 6th inning. And he takes a called strike. Another pretty pitch. Braves are going to pick up a game on the Nationals tonight. Atlanta started 12.5 back in the East. Braves will go to 25-32 on the year. This one's hit toward third. Rio played back, shows off his strong arm, and gets his man for the 2nd out. Two up, 2 down. Here's Hernandez. He's got one of the Phillies' 4 hits. It was a 6th inning single. They had their best chance in that inning. They had 2 on with 1 out against Foltynewicz, who was protecting a 4-0 lead. But Herrera popped out. Kendrick grounded out, and that was that. A strike.
He's been using that changeup effectively at various times, but when he goes from 96 or 97 to 87, you can see the funny swings.
And then he lights it up to 92 with a few more gears left if he needs it. After tomorrow's game, we'll next see the Phillies at the end of July. That'll be the 3rd city on a long 3-city road trip that will start in Los Angeles, with 4 with the Dodgers. In fact, the Braves will finish off the home portion of the 2017 schedule with these Phillies. They'll play them September 22nd, 3rd, and 4th before finishing on the road in New York, and then with 4 down in Miami.
It's weird. Team went to New York and Miami twice right away and don't see him again on the road until the end of the year.
The 0-2. Ooh, just missed inside. That's out of the play, foul. I know how much Jeff's enjoyed being out on the set with Kelsey for Braves Live pregame and postgame. We will have Tom Glavine joining us for the Mets series up in the booth. And then after we get back from Washington, Jeff is going to make his game broadcasting debut when Miami's in town, the 16th, 17th, and 18th.
Oh, I hope he's got a tie.
You know, I remember in 2005, one of the most exciting years I can remember for the Braves, when all the baby Braves came up. That was my first year back with the team, and I remember the first road trip that Jeff Francoeur went on. As that one's caught on and missed. Jeff had a tie, but he was so young he didn't know how to tie it. We got him hooked up and he was allowed on the plane, believe it or not. 8-0 Atlanta.
Up 8-0 in this one. And guys, if you miss Anderson Simmons and Dansby's playing fantastic, or want to see who we got in that trade, well, Sean Newcomb. He makes his debut, as you heard earlier, coming from Gwinnett, and you're going to see some nasty stuff right here, guys. Look at the big hook. Oh, goodness. And he's got a little Randy Johnson in with the high heater. It's nice and easy, 3/4, the big lefty coming at you. Brian Snitker would say later, he says, you never know how somebody's going to react when they put that upper level on top of the stadium. But we're very excited to see what we have and see him get out there and make his debut. Guys, back to you.
I am fired up, Paul. I think it's great. It's like, from a pitching standpoint, one of the first waves of these young guys that have been acquired by the Braves or have been developed by the Braves. It's like the first sign for everybody to see what's coming.
Sean was the 15th overall pick in the 2014 draft out of Hartford. Angels drafted him in that 2014 year. Power pitcher, fastball from 90 to 95, and apparently hides the baseball well. Mid-80s changeup, curveball. The one concern that you have about any young pitcher as they make their way to the major leagues is control. And Sean has made strides in improving his control, but averaging about 3 walks per game at AAA. That's, as you've said so many times, Joe, the biggest step for a young pitcher to make, the selectivity of major league hitters.
You've got to throw strikes. There's no way around it. You got to trust your stuff. You make adjustments as you go along, but you can't come up and walk the ballpark.
So we'll see how he fares on Saturday. We don't know which game he will pitch. Matt Whistler is going to pitch on Saturday as well. We told you earlier about Matt's excellent work against the Mets. At the start of play in 2017, Whistler 3-1 with a 2.02 earned run average against the New York club. And he made his debut on June 19th 2 years ago. 1-2 pitch is inside. It's 2-2. So, Paul, from a pitching standpoint, Newcomb's sitting on the fact that he knows in 72 hours he's going to be pitching in a major league park. Number one, is that tough? And number two, is what we talked about going to be the biggest adjustment for him?
Yes, I agree on both counts. I don't want to say you want to know the night before, but it's a little bit easier. You know, you're sitting there, you're waiting, but overall you're so excited. And let's face it, this is something you've dreamed about since you're probably 5 or 6 years old. And now it's getting ready to happen. You got family pulling at you, and you have to come up, and then you got to win a game. So you got to breathe and calm yourself down, and as you guys alluded to, not just throw strikes, but throw quality strikes against the best pitchers in the world. But this guy's special. I mean, you saw that stuff. So we're all excited to see him make his mark, and if he calms down and hits his spots, his stuff will take care of the rest.
You know, Paul, I've heard this more than once. People call him a young John Lester.
I could see that. I think his stuff's better than Lester. Lester early on had incredible stuff, but now he's more of a grinder. Lester's my former teammate with Boston, a great competitor. I see an easy delivery out of him, and I really like the way the ball jumps out of his hand. What that tells me is kind of like we're seeing with Folty. Instead of trying to throw a ball 98, let's throw a ball 95, relax, and put the ball in the corners, and that's plenty good enough. I also saw a great secondary pitch.
Well, he's a big horse, 6'5", 240.
Doesn't hurt that you're left-handed either.
No, sir.
Yeah, not with that Mets ball club and guys like Bruce and Duda in their lineup. So we'll eagerly await Saturday's play, but still some work to be done tonight, Thursday and Friday here at home. Leadoff walk for Ruiz, who's walked 3 times now. And Dansby smokes one into center field. So Garcia looked less than thrilled to be pitching, and I'm sure his manager less than thrilled that the first 2 Braves have reached in the 8th inning.
Good night for Dansby. A home run, a single off the pitcher's foot, and a BB back through the middle. High fastball. Boy, he got level on that, didn't he? Big night helped get him restarted.
2 on, nobody out for Lane Adams, who popped out with the bases loaded in the 7th. Lane's going to sleep well tonight. Talk about the ultimate split doubleheader. This is what Lane Adams is dealing with. An early afternoon game with Gwinnett. Called up to the big leagues tonight, and this is his 2nd at bat. And for Dansby Swanson, September 19th, 2016 was his last 3-hit game.
This guy's throwing hard. 99 on that one.
Right on by, 2-2. Little chopper, and pitcher will field. That'll advance the runners. A productive out for Adams. Ruiz at 3rd, Swanson at 2nd, and we go back to the top and enter Inciarte.
Ender's had a 2-hit night again. How many multi-hit games does he have?
Ender has 22 of them now, 23. That's 4th in the league. He's up to 75 hits. Again, we're barely a third of the way through the season. And if you remember, There weren't too many guys on the Braves that got off to blistering starts at the plate, including Ender Inciarte. So he's really come on here in the last 8 weeks.
.23 multi-hit games out of 57. That's pretty sharp.
And again, you do the math. 75 hits times 3. That's well over 200. Marquise Grissom, the last Brave, with a 200-hit year. Long way to go, obviously, but you certainly like Ender Inciarte's pace. And you factor in all the runs he saves. Quite a player. And hopefully an all-star to be. That's out of play.
I think early in the year he was overswinging a little bit. Remember, he hit a couple of home runs, first home run here, and his swing got a little long, trying to hit a few more. But that changed radically. His hits started coming when he started hitting line drives, trying to just put the ball in play. Home runs still come for him because he's got some pop in his bat.
We talk about all the hits. The #1 job for a leadoff guy is to get on base and score runs, right? Again, roughly a third of the way through the season, Ender scored 38 runs. He's on pace to score 100.
First 20 games he was hitting .207. Coming into play tonight, the next 36 games, .357.
Late called strike. He was a step or two toward first.
That's all right. He wants to hit. He wants another base hit.
He'll take a walk instead. And the Phillies bullpen has been a group engaged in a walkathon over the last couple of innings. That's 5 walks in the 7th and 8th combined. And here's Brandon Phillips. He's up for the 5th time.
And the 2nd time in a row with the bases loaded.
That's way upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Told you so many times the magic number for the Braves offensively is 4 runs. Get to 4, they usually win.
That was a remarkable number you gave me yesterday. Difference between 3 and 4.
Popped up. That's headed for the seats. When the Braves score 3 runs or less, first of all, it's happened 24 times in the first 57 games. When the Braves score 3 or fewer runs, they have won 3 of 24 played. When the Braves get to 4 runs or more, they're 21-11. Eight ought to be enough tonight.
Blame Brandon there. This guy does not appear to be into it. He's throwing hard, and that one almost got away from him. I don't blame Brandon at all for ducking out of the way of that.
Ruiz, Swanson, Inciarte, the runners. Good speed aboard. He's got to throw a strike or the Braves will have a 9th run. And that's driven foul out of play. Swing and a miss. So a nice rally for Garcia to take care of Brandon Phillips for the 2nd out. But now, from the frying pan to the fire, it's Nick Markakis, who's knocked in 3 Atlanta runs with a pair of doubles. Nick's got 29 RBIs, 14 doubles. And 4 hits so far in the series, 5 runs batted in.
Chance to have a big RBI night right here.
And he's going to. A seeing eye ball right down the 3rd base line. Couple of runs score. And the Braves will send Inciarte back to 3rd. Nick Markakis with 3 doubles and 5 RBIs. Oh, the reaction of Franco at 3rd base said it all. Right down the line, and he sort of hopped and spun in exasperation, knowing there's nothing in the world he can do on this batted ball.
Well, it's the 2nd in a row that way by Nick. And this one was right over the chalk. Hit it where it was pitched, 2nd time in a row. Up to 31 RBIs for Nick.
And Danny Santana, the batter. You know, with all the talk about Ender Inciarte and Phillips and Markakis and Kemp and Matt Adams, tonight Tyler Flowers, Rio Ruiz, and Dansby Swanson have scored 8 of the Atlanta runs. A well-balanced Braves attack. And that ball is smacked deep toward left. Kelly can't get it. It's over his head and up against the wall. 2 more runs will score. It's 12-0. That ball found another gear, and Kelly was almost frozen in left field.
Bad read. Had no idea the ball was hit that well. And again, Danny Santana, who has really come around the last couple of weeks, smokes another one off the bench this time. Fastball away. Barreled it up, and it jumped.
You know, that's an interesting point, Joe. The Braves bench was a real problem for this club in the first couple of weeks of the season. We all talk about how rosters change almost on a daily basis at the major league level. But the Braves bench not only looks better, it's performing better over the last 4 or 5 weeks. And that'll be the end of the line for Garcia, who in the 8th inning was awful. And let's see, it's going to be a position player coming in for the Phillies. Is this Andres Blanco?
I think it's Jeff Francoeur. No, that's Blanco.
Andres Blanco is going to pitch in a blowout game. Relievers, they're going to bring a position player on to pitch. It's Andres Blanco. And we talked jokingly with Jeff Francoeur a little while ago about his relief stint. Jeff, what's going through the mind of Andres Blanco, who's making his first big league appearance as a pitcher?
Well, I had a strikeout my first time, so I'm guessing he's saying I got to punch this guy out.
Who'd you strike out?
I struck out Nolan Reimold on a backup slider.
Oh, that's when he was really hurt, wasn't it?
Well, 1, 2, 3 the first inning, and then went back out there, and that's when things really got in trouble.
It went downhill, didn't they?
Yeah, and I heard you also were kind of talking about me tying a tie apparently or something.
Yeah.
You are telling the truth. Y'all did have to tie my tie, but I'm letting you know next Friday night when I'm in the booth, I'm going to show you two up with a great tie.
Really?
Yeah,
all right.
I'm going to bring my A game.
All right. Well, you always bring your A game, but we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, see, Blanco's just throwing it easy. I was trying to throw 2 seamers and running it in on people.
You were in the state championship again. That's what you were doing.
Exactly, facing Gabe Simpson.
Now, from a hitter standpoint, you definitely don't want this guy to get you out, much less strike you out, right?
No, this is when Matt's thinking right here. I got to leave the park and have two-run homer or at least another RBI. You get out, this is a no-win situation for a hitter. You get a hit you're supposed to, you get out, it's just miserable. And especially, I'm not laughing, but if he punches out, it's going to be even worse.
When I pitched against the Mariners, who were my former team the year before, Richie Zisk took himself out of the game. He refused to hit off of me for fear that he wouldn't get a hit.
I don't blame him.
High fly ball center field. That one's pretty well hit. And Adams hurt you, Jeff. It's a home run.
There you go. Pad the stats, baby. Arbitration. Take that. Copy's got to love that one.
That is a trot, not hit with great joy, but great relief, I'll bet, right?
Love it. And now Flowers is thinking, oh my gosh, now it's my turn.
I got to top that, right?
That's great.
So that's all for Garcia. He gave up 5 runs tonight. And it's a 14-0 Atlanta game. As Blanco.
I give Blanco a lot of credit. Like Jeff said, he's just trying to get this over with.
Yeah.
He's not trying to be Cliff Lee or Roy Halladay out there.
Didn't Jose Oquendo pitch against the Braves while he was with the Cardinals and have like a 3-inning relief stint one time?
I believe you're right.
I don't know if I can't remember if he won the game or not. Might have. As this one's popped up, Hernandez on the run is going to make the basket catch, and that's going to retire the side. Matt Adams hits a home run off Andres Blanco, and Atlanta needs 3 more outs.
Scoreboard, we like to see 14-0 as we head into the 9th inning. Braves fans, make sure to stay with us tonight. I have Jeff Francoeur with me on set. and we're going to have your Braves Live post-game show brought to you by Xfinity. We're going to talk about Mike Foltynewicz, 7 incredible innings tonight. Nick Markakis, Dansby Swanson at the plate. These are the kind of wins we like to see. Your biggest key to the game right now.
Well, you're going to have to watch the post game for that. I'm not giving it up. My point is, we finally won a game. I'm allowed to come back and work.
His 3rd day in TV, and that, my friends, is what you call.
It's a blowout.
That's a professional tease right there on his 3rd day in television. We'll take it. Chip and Joe, let's get these 3 outs quick and see us here on set.
Sounds like a plan. Luke Jackson's the man assigned the final 3 outs in the 9th inning. He's got Herrera. He's got Blanco, the pitcher. Well, that's weird to say. And then Mr. Joseph. This big Braves fan, Jason Foster, sent me the information on that Jose Oquendo game. It was May 14th, 1988. And Jose Oquendo pitched 4 innings of relief. 4 hits. He walked 6 and gave up 2 runs and lost the game.
There was a backup catcher, Tim Lake, that I think won a game against the Braves in a similar situation where he had to come in, and I want to say it was in Colorado. So they came roaring back and won the game, and he got the win.
So in this game tonight, Foltynewicz is going to win it. Eichhoff is going to lose it. And with tongue in cheek, you've got to give Andres Blanco a save, because he saved another bullpen guy. He saved another relief pitcher.
Tim Laker's the guy I'm thinking of.
It's downstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. How about Frenchie calling the home run too? That was pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, the pressure was on.
So for Jackson, no drama. Throw it right down the middle and move this baby along. Odubel Herrera, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Doubled in the first. He's walked and popped out. And he's got a full count. Boy, some great names in that Braves Cardinals game in 1988. And some amazing lines, batting lines. Guys had 8, 7, 9 at bats in the game.
Goodness.
Deion James was the center fielder. Deion James made famous because he hit a fly ball that killed a bird in the air in New York at the old Shea Stadium. Dale Murphy went 0 for 7. Ken Griffey was the left fielder, not junior but senior. He had 3 hits. Gerald Perry, Ozzie Virgil, Ken Obergefell, Ronnie Gant was the second baseman. Ted Simmons came on as a pinch hitter. A crazy, crazy game. A little more than 19 years ago. And Jose Oquendo, an infielder like Blanco, pitching 4 innings of relief. And there's a shot to right. That's going to 1-hop to the fence. And on his way to second is Odubel Herrera. He is the most aptly named hitter in the major leagues right now. 2-base hit after 2-base hit. That's his second double of the game.
Breaking ball, left up. And on a 3-2 count, he pounced on it. So at least Blanco gets to hit.
Yeah. And he's greeted with a whiter shade of pale as his walk-up music. Now, fans who don't know the story of your pitching appearance, how many innings was it?
The first one was 1 inning.
Okay.
And then 5 days later, it was 2 innings. And after the second one, I said if I'd known I was in the rotation, I would have done a little running in between.
Too short. Runner to third. And that takes care of Blanco. Productive out. The Phillies, at the very least, will try to break up the Braves shutout bid.
Floyd Boyer was the pitching coach. He's got some Atlanta ties, of course. great guy, wonderful person. He came down the second time into the dugout and he says, "Can you go again, buddy?" I said, "Sure." I was grabbing my glove and he goes, he grabbed my jersey and he goes, "Can you go too?"
Now,
you bet.
Well, yeah, I mean, how many strikeouts did you have in your?
Just one, like Jeff. I got Spike going. He gave me the bat.
Now he was a good sport about it, right? I mean,
yeah.
He was. Daniel Nava is going to come on and fouls one back, strike one.
Yeah, the first time I got 2 outs on 2 pitches against the White Sox, and then I got real cute, you know, like, well, wait a minute, I haven't even thrown a curveball yet. I got to start showing my repertoire here. And walked a guy and gave up a double. Third out was a line drive to George Brett at third base, almost undressed him.
Base hit by Nava, and that spoils the shutout bid. Nava brings home Herrera, and it's a moral victory for the Phillies in the 9th inning. It's a 14-1 game, though. So Jackson gives up his first run since coming up from Gwinnett. That base hit ends 9 consecutive scoreless innings for him. And by the way, the Braves bullpen has been really, really good. They had a real bad day against the Mets on May the 3rd, gave up 11 runs in a blowout game, a lot like this one. But since that date, the Braves relief corps has only given up 34 runs in their last 108 innings or so. A base hit to right. As Franco's got a hit, 2 on with 1 out. And the opponents a 189 batting average in the last month of relief pitching. That's good work. That's really good work.
And you mentioned the good work of Luke Jackson, and I was bragging on him a couple of nights ago, and I'm still bragging on him. I like him a lot. But there's nobody going to get up again in the bullpen. They want him to finish it. So if you don't want to give up another run, make some good pitches, maybe get a ground ball here and a chance for a double play.
Michael Saunders is the batter. He's 0 for 3. And it's bounced off his body foul. No balls, 1 strike. Reds beat the Cardinals tonight 6-4, a final in Cincinnati. We've said it once, we've said it a lot. Keep an eye on the Reds. They started play tonight 3 games behind the Cubs and the Brewers.
The Cardinals leading that game early on, like 4-0.
Maybe Scooter Gennett hit 3 more home runs. Who knows? Something crazy might have happened. Reds now 2 games under 500.
It's 3-0.
Milwaukee's winning tonight 6-3 over the Giants. The Cubs are losing 6-4. The Marlins are beating Chicago at Wrigley Field in the 7th. Cubs have won 5 straight after a winless West Coast road trip. One ball, 2 strikes, 14-1 Atlanta in the 9th. And a swing and a miss. Saunders didn't get that. And the Braves are out away. Markakis with a 5 RBI game. Matt Adams with a homer, 3 RBIs. Dansby Swanson, 3 hits. Rio Ruiz, 3 walks and 3 runs. Tyler Flowers with 2 runs, and Mike Fultonevich 7 innings of 4-hit shutout ball. That is a nice recipe.
It sure is.
arms. Braves one to the screen, strike one. $24,185 the attendance tonight. Those remaining want to see it end with the next pitch. Andrew Knapp down 2 strikes. Drew Jenkins looked it up for us. The last position player to pick up a win in relief was Chris Davis with the Orioles. He went 2 innings in a 17-inning affair on May 6th, 2012. So thanks, Drew. Great work tonight. Ground ball to second. Phillips has it, and that is your ball game. Hey, the Braves are on the board. They've found a way to beat the Phillies for the first time this year, 14-1. Here's your final score. This was a great team effort, and as you said in our opening comments, Joe, it started with the starting pitcher.
It does start with the starting pitching, and it did tonight with Mike Foltynewicz, who picks up his 4th win with great work. 7 innings of 4-hit shutout ball, and a lot of big nights tonight, including Nick Markakis with 3 doubles and 5 ribbies. Outstanding.
So the Braves have their first win against Philadelphia. 14-1 is the final. They'll try to split the series tomorrow night. Behind knuckleballer R.A. Dickey, Ben Lively will pitch for the Phillies. He'll make his 2nd start. Great night at SunTrust Park. Glad you were with us. A big night for the Braves. They are in their 25th win of the year. Plenty of good things to talk about on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. Jeff Francoeur and Kelsey Wingert are standing by. Joe and I will join them after a break and after we think about Atlanta's big 13-run win tonight.